Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. I got you the new video. Today is Wednesday, March 12th, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got some NBA action this Wednesday evening. The Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Boston Celtics. Tip-off is going to be here in just a couple minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get settled in for some NBA action here on Wednesday night. Let's get it. And on the thumb on the left, you already know what it is. It's SGA. And on the right, you know, Jalen Brown. Let's go, baby. I can't wait to be able to see what we get with Tatum and Brown, SGA and Chet. Should be a good one. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Daniel in the building, what's good? Sarah in the building, what's good? And I'm glad that they decided to kind of push out tip-off. Instead of being at 4:30, it's closer to 4:45. So for all those people that are trying to make it home, from work or get settled in, from anything that they're doing around the house, they'll be able to settle in. And, these are two of the best teams in the NBA, two of the best four, not including, the Nuggets, obviously, who are playing later today against the Minnesota Timberwolves, but also the team that's in first place in the East over the Celtics, at least for the time being, in the Cleveland Cavaliers. But this definitely feels like this could literally be the NBA Finals. And with the Celtics' depth on their bench, the Thunder could win it all, and SGA could definitely be MVP. But again, Celtics won it last year. This team is better than the team last year, especially if you look at the depth and the way that they're shooting the rock, especially from deep. The Celtics are definitely going to have their hands full, with the Eastern Conference. Maybe not as much as the West. With SGA, there's more competition there. Nuggets, Lakers with Luka and LeBron, as well as Ja Morant with the Grizz, and then the T-Wolves. There's going to be some competition there, but on the East, it's pretty much Cleveland and Boston. But again, we know Cleveland and Boston, they love to play offense and defense, but the shooting and the depth, that might end up being the difference. And the Celtics could legitimately go back-to-back. And again, if you've seen that Peyton Pritchard game and the Derek White game where they threw up 40 burgers on my Blazers, again, it shows you the depth that this team has. And they are doing something shooting-wise that we haven't seen since, Steph Curry from a few years back when he was in his prime with Clay and Draymond, where you're just shooting the lights out of the building. And it's not only your stars, but it's also your role players that are stepping up as well. Again, we're going to have a few injuries here. Now, we know Chet is back, Tatum is back, but no Jalen Williams for the Thunder. So, again, I would assume that means more SGA. There's a good opportunity for him to throw up 30, 40, 50, and he might need to throw up 40 or 50 to be able to win. Obviously this evening in the Celtics, all you got to do is be yourself. SGA, Dort, Wallace, Wiggins, and Holmgren. We'll see how that goes on that side of the ball. Oklahoma City does not have the depth like Boston does. But again, both are top 5 in offense, both are top 5 in defense. That's why I'm here. Derek White, Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Al Horford. Very slick starting lineup there for Boston. And then if you look at their bench, they got a lot of pieces there that can deliver. Let's go, baby. Let's go. And again, I'm not going to be, going out of my way for too many games other than the Blazers, but I definitely can get up for a game like this. If the Thunder, or the Lakers or the Nuggets are on, or the Cavaliers or the Celtics, yeah, I'm going to tune in. And here we go. Pump fake. Wiggins kicks it back out to the top of the key, and hopefully Chet will be able to stay out of foul trouble here. Dort for 3 is good. Oh, baby. Thunder on the road. And again, the Thunder are going to have to start fast The Celtics obviously can get 20-point leads and lose 20-point leads. It's a game of runs. But again, this could be the NBA Finals preview. And if it ends up being the NBA Finals, it's not going to be a team sweeping. It's not going to be a team winning in 5. This is such a evenly matched concept with these two teams where it could end up being, Celtics in 7 or Thunder in 7 if we end up getting this matchup. Facts. Thunder off to a fast start. Pushing around, Derek White layup is good. Wow. 7-0 Thunder. Celtics fans, they might need a timeout here pretty soon. At the top of the key, Tatum, deep 3. I don't like that shot whatsoever when you're already down. SGA. And again, if you're looking at numbers, SGA's got a lot of the 30, 40, 50-point games, leading the league in scoring. But if you look at the Joker, he's top 5 in like 6 categories. So if you're really being honest, who's the best player in the NBA? It's the Joker. But, if you're winning the MVP so many years in a row, even if you are the best player, sometimes they want to give it to the second best player. So it's not just the same player over and over and over again. Big block on Chet. Oh, my. And Chet getting bullied by 3 Celtics there, foul called. So, I mean, we're really being honest. We're talking about best player. Overall, it's definitely the Joker. And if you look at the stats don't lie. But based off popularity and scoring, it's SGA. And, we'll see what happens, with the voting. But I would be shocked if they don't give it to SGA just because, the Joker has been very, very good for many years in a row. They're definitely going to want to spread the wealth, to get more people to watch the game. So that's facts. SGA off the dribble. Stolen by Horford. Good steal. Tatum with the recovery. Passes up to Derek White. 9-0 start for the Thunder. Celtics, what are you doing? You got to attack the paint. Can't be settling for these outside shots. Remember, the Thunder are the best defensive team at threes. So again, what are the Celtics known for? Shooting fucking threes this year, just like the fucking Splash Brothers when they had Steph and Clay. So far, they're not cashing in. Thunder being aggressive. They're attacking the hole. Bang. 9-0 Thunder. What a start. That's exactly what you need. And on top of that, they don't have a full healthy roster, right? Jalen Williams is out. That's going to be a big loss for the Thunder here, or it was supposed to be. Kristaps is not playing. He'll be back here in a few more days. But what a great start by the Thunder. And it shows you, again, the Celtics beat up the Blazers. The Celtics are a very good team, and they got great players, but they are a rhythm team. And even though they're at home, that doesn't mean that you're going to end up beating maybe, the best team in the NBA in the Oklahoma City Thunder. Facts. Jacob in the building. What's good? Cole in the building. What's good? Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We're going to be shooting for 20 within the first hour and a half, 30 to 50 overall. If we get the volume and we get the algorithm, and obviously shooting for 100 in the donos on every single stream. Let's go. And then we'll be doing Mariner baseball tomorrow in the evening, and a lot of the top tier talent for the Mariners are going to be obviously participating. Kind of like one of those spring training all-star games when you're going to end up getting a lot of those players, from those particular teams that are going to be playing. So I'm definitely excited for that. We will be live tomorrow at 6:40 for the Diamondbacks and the Mariners. Then on Friday, I haven't really decided yet. And then obviously on Sunday, we'll be doing NASCAR Cup Series in Vegas. Yeah, fast start for the Thunder, exactly what they wanted to see. We haven't got to see a lot of SBA and Chet together. And for the Celtics, you got kind of punched in the mouth there, and they need to not settle for threes. Like, you can shoot threes against a team like the Blazers, where we're not very good rebounding or defending. But if you're going to be shooting all those threes against teams that actually box out and that are good at closing out and defending the three like the Thunder, there are going to be some shots that are going to go down, but it's not going to be as easy as playing a team that is mid or, kind of towards the bottom of the NBA. Yeah, not a whole lot of news. A few teams, making a few moves here and there. We'll figure out where Cooper Kupp ends up landing here in a few days. DeMarcus Lawrence getting, signed by the Hawks. Pretty high number, for the money. And obviously, if you remember, DeMarcus Lawrence from the Cowboys 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, playing pretty much his whole career there, the numbers were pretty good. But within the last 4 to 6 years, he's kind of been playing based off name recognition, and the stats really haven't been as good. Now if you're okay, with 3 to sack lunches, 3 to 6, from a player of that caliber with the money that you paid, it'll make the team better, on that side of the ball. But again, salary cap is salary cap. But hopefully for the Hawks' sake, DeMarcus Lawrence can get that sack number, up higher. And 2 out of the 4 years, he's been a little bit banged up. So health would be a concern. But if he can play a full season, he should be able to get close to 5, 6, 7 sack lunches, you would think, if the health is there. Celtics out of the timeout here. Tatum kicks it back out to Horford. Open 3, bang, there we go. Horford finally getting the 3 to go down. Yeah, and it shows you Tampa does things the right way. People are wanting to play here. We don't got to worry about a lot of our elite players or Hall of Fame players, wanting to go somewhere else, which is really nice. And, whether people realize it or not, Howie Roseman gets a lot of love for the Eagles on his drafting and everything he does. What a layup by SGA. But Jason Licht is definitely top 3. There's a couple other guys that are at the top with him. But he's probably the most underrated GM overall. And obviously, if you look at our drafting that we've done, pre-Brady, post-Brady, and everything that we've done in between, it's pretty special. Nice pass. Brown for 3. Front rim, in and out, no good. Offensive rebound there by Tatum. Horford for 3. And that is good. Man, Horford for 2 threes. Who would have thought that would be the guy to get him off the schneid? There you go. The only concern I have with the Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson are 2 at the very bottom for completion percentage. So kind of makes me wonder why they went for Jones. I mean, it's a name, but if you already got one guy that's at the bottom for completion percentage, you don't want to have another guy, do you? But it definitely doesn't look like it's going to be long-term for either one. But hopefully you guys will be able to figure out a quarterback at some point. White, corner 3, bang, is good. But as far as like your secondary pickups, I like those. But the Daniel Jones one's kind of a head scratcher. Definitely not good enough to be on that particular team. But again, if it's going to be a backup role or, someone goes down with an injury and you at least have some recognizable name, so be it. But definitely would like to be able to see both of those guys get better. White for 3 again. Bang! Oh, my. And even though the Thunder are great at defending the 3, the Celtics are starting to heat up. 15-12 Thunder. I'm always going to call a spade a spade. I'll call it how I see it. And I know that, you probably feel the same way, so. But you're going to need your Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning type of quarterback to get back into the mix whenever that happens. Offensive board in and out, no good. Nice box out there. Derek White, 3-on-3. Holiday for 3. In and out, no good. Nice rebound by the Thunder. Good pace in this first quarter. 15-12 Thunder. Thunder attacking the paint. The Celtics are shooting the 3. Horford with the block and the rebound. Outlet pass to Derek White. White with a little hezzy. Chet Holmgren on him. They need to switch. Chet. And it's great to be able to see Chet out there missing a good chunk of the season. Tatum for a deep 3 on Chet. In and out, no good. Tipped with the rebound. Good effort by Boston. Brown with a little crossover. Hezzy. Down low to Horford. And tipped away. Judah in the building. What's good? Yeah, if the Celtics can keep playing, the way that they have been playing, they could go all the way. They could go back-to-back, as good as the, Cavs are, as good as the Nuggets are, as good as the Thunder are. But again, they can't have any major injuries, and they need to stay hot. And again, their bench is one of the best in the NBA, and that's a key thing. You've got to have a good bench if you want to go all the way. And that's what kind of makes me a little worried, about some of these other teams like the Nuggets and the Thunder and the Cavs. They have some bench guys, but I don't know if they have as many that I trust like Boston does. And we'll see kind of how it goes. But this definitely could be an NBA Finals preview. Nice rebound there by Chet and working his way to the line. Yeah, and the first time that this team played, we played in OKC just a couple months ago, right around the beginning of the new year, and the Thunder won 105-92. So Celtics are definitely trying to get payback here at home. And the Celtics have been incredibly hot. They don't have Porzingis tonight. That's a big loss. Jalen Williams, the big one for the Thunder. Another three. But just like when I ended up covering the Celtics and the Blazer game, where they were going off with all those threes, you're kind of getting the same type of thing as well. Wow, Horford again. And when you get a guy that is like 35 to 40 years old, he's at the end of his career, but he can still shoot threes like a guard, it's super impressive. And Horford alone could be that X factor that helps them go back-to-back and beat the Cavs in the Eastern Finals and possibly win the whole fucking thing. He's been on an amazing level. And Derek White up and under, and then a foul there by Chet. But what a comeback there. I mean, you saw the Thunder up 9-0, and then in a blink of an eye, it's tied 19-19. I love the pace with these teams. And the things that I love the most about these two teams, and the reason I'm here today, is that both of these teams are top 5 in offense, but more importantly, top 5 on defense. And that's rare to see two teams that have top 5 ability in both. And that's why most people are thinking that this could definitely be a finals preview. And if we do get this finals preview, it could be Celtics in 7, Thunder in 7. It may not just be going in 6, where one team wins 4 and the other wins 2. Like, I feel like these teams are so evenly matched that it could definitely go for 7. And this is probably the most evenly matched, as far as a West powerhouse and an East powerhouse. And we're still not even talking about Cavs and Denver, which we could end up getting those there as well. So, you're starting to see the NBA get a little bit better, slightly. Obviously defensive effort is still piss poor for the most part, but getting Luka and LeBron, you're kind of starting to see the shape of the playoff picture as we're getting closer to March Madness as well. 22-22 all, great pace here in this first quarter. Oh, turnover, stepped out of bounds. Yeah, I'm not really sure how I feel about, the MVS, signing, as well as the DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, DeMarcus is a huge name, but if you look at his production in the last 4 years, not the greatest. So if he stays healthy, it could be, awesome. But if he gets hurt, or underachieves, it could end up, hurting them. And I imagine at some point during the season, they're going to be saying, damn, I wish we had DK and Lockett still. I imagine Hawk fans will be saying that at some point or another. No disrespect to MVS, but JSN needs someone better than that as a partner in crime there in Seattle for Sam to throw to. Facts. I do like the Evan Ingram signing with Denver. I feel like Denver low-key has been killing it here in the offseason. Big 3 in the corner, but getting Talanoa Hufanga, getting Dre Greenlaw, and getting Evan Ingram. I mean, the Broncos already had an elite defense. Now they're like elite, like trying to be the best in the NFL, like up at the very, very top, which they already kind of are, right? And then you add a tight end that you haven't had in fucking years, and Ingram's a guy that can get you, 1,000 yards, 5 to 10 touchdowns. He's been very productive in his career. So, I'm definitely excited to be able to see where some of these teams are going. But, Denver low key, just not having any bias, but just looking at all of the pickups and looking at the quality of names that are coming in, this is probably Denver's best free agency in like 15, 20 years. And my best friend, Justin, coincidentally is a Bronco fan, so he asks, and we go over the film, and I give him answers and whatnot. And I'm going to be watching guys like Dre Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga maybe a little bit closer than someone like him. But I told him, Dre Greenlaw's a hothead. He'll probably get you some late hits and get you some late flags, and maybe cost you a game. But sideline to sideline, he's a maniac, right? And then Talanoa Hufanga, one of the best guys in the secondary in the safety position that could definitely bolster that defense as well, give you a little bit of a spark like when Lynch went from the Bucks to the Broncos back in the day, and then getting Evan Ingram at tight end for Bo Nix to be able to go down to. He needs obviously better wide receivers and running backs as well, but I like the way that the team is shaping up. And I imagine a lot of people that are Thunder and Celtic fans are liking the way that these teams are shaping up at this point in the season. 22-22 here with just a few minutes left in the first quarter. Great pace here starting out. Megan in the building. What's good? Yeah, Buffalo getting kind of sneaky and stealing Joey Bosa away from the Niners. Niners let go of Leonard Floyd, assuming that Bosa was going to sign, and then you would have both Bosas there, because that the Niners have been kind of blowing it up. And so for him to be able to kind of pivot and be like, well, I could have played with my brother, but no, I'm going to go play with Buffalo and Josh Allen. Like that, I mean, we don't know if Joey Bosa can stay healthy for a full season, but if he were to stay healthy for a full season, that could be one of those missing links that they've needed for a pass rusher, since Von Miller obviously is old and not a part of that roster anymore. But if Bosa could end up having like a 15 to 20 sack lunch season for Buffalo, maybe that could be the difference, and adding a little bit more in the draft and free agency, but maybe that could be, that one of those pieces that could get past the Chiefs or, the Ravens or the Broncos or whoever's in their way, from preventing them from getting, to the Super Bowl and obviously the AFC championship game. So, and it's only 1 year. So, when you have a 1 year deal, prove it deal, you don't really know what you're going to get, but, obviously if he gets injured, he could end up having, just a couple sack lunches, but if he could stay healthy, he could, definitely be in the MVP, a defensive player of the year type of thing, but we don't really know. Bosas are great when they're healthy, Nick and Joey, but that's the real question. Can they stay healthy for a full season? Free throw there by SGA is good. Captain in the building, what's good? Did this one for you, my guy. Thunder and Celtics, plus, two of the, top three teams in the NBA, two of the top four, not including the Nuggets and the Cavs. It's a fun matchup. And I think that obviously ratings would be the highest if we had Lakers-Celtics, which when they played over the weekend, it was the highest rated game in the NBA in 7 years because Luka and LeBron are eyeballs, right? On top of Tatum and Brown and everything that the Celtics used to bring with that Laker rivalry with Bird and Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish and James Worthy and Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So you can have that rivalry in the 80s and the 90s, but it can still kind of be relevant today. East Coast, West Coast, right? And the Thunder obviously being kind of more small market like the Cavs, I feel like eyeballs other than those fans may not care as much. But again, we'll kind of wait and see how it all plays out. Now, if the Lakers had better defensive pieces, or Anthony Davis was still there, or you had guys that could actually put some effort on that side, maybe it could be a possibility, but a lot would have to happen for the Lakers to be able to get past teams like the Grizzlies, the Timberwolves, but most importantly, the Nuggets and OKC. 28-25 Thunder, deep three, in and out, no good, off Tatum's leg and turned over. Captain, again, teams sometimes have to, pivot, and sometimes you got to blow shit up. It's a business, and again, sometimes, you got to be able to just, maybe have a challenging season, and it could end up paying dividends. Again, think about, if you ended up going 7-10, you missed the playoffs, right? But then you end up getting the quarterback of the franchise in the next draft, and then you're good for like 10 or 15 years at quarterback. So you always have to look at, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The Niners are kind of pivoting and rebuilding. Seahawks kind of the same thing, with some of their key guys not there. They're trying to fill in the holes, right? So the Rams are kind of starting to look like maybe the best team in the division. Cardinals at the bottom, but you don't really know until you see this draft. So again, free agency, DeMarcus Lawrence, you're getting some names, MVS, and I know that's not the same as like keeping Lockett there or keeping DK, like how the Buccaneers were able to keep Godwin and Evans. Of course, keeping your favorites is definitely important, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. And I would wait for this draft, see how it kind of plays out, and then you'll be able to see if McDonald and their, individuals in that war room, if they can recognize what's going to be a good fit for that team or not. And then, we'll see how many, seasons that you have of potentially 7-10, 8-9, 9-8 before you kind of, overachieve or find the right pieces where you can end up going, 10-7 or better. But, you might have to wait a year or two, but maybe waiting won't be a bad thing. Sometimes you got to take 2 steps back to go 10 steps forward. So, and if you can end up finding that right quarterback, which it's not going to be Sam Darnold long term, again, you want to make sure you're doing it the right way and finding the right piece, whatever that may be. Top of the 3 key, in and out, no good. They're scrapping down low. Foul. There's a foul call. And MVS, he's not an elite receiver. He's a role player receiver, but he's a guy that can be a deep threat and obviously get you some first downs here and there. But obviously for MVS and some of these other individuals to, make a difference, they're going to need offensive line, time for Darnold to get the guys the ball. And again, if they can do that in this, draft and obviously next year as well and free agency, then we'll be able to see them progressively, get back to, kind of where they were with Geno. But if they have injuries or, guys don't hit, at those particular spots, then there's going to be a few challenging years. But again, sometimes going 2 steps backward to go 10 steps forward sometimes is what your franchise needs to be able to get kind of over that hump. SGA. Jumper is good. We're knotted up at 30. Tatum for 3. It's good. Wow. We're knotted up at 30. Getting down here to the end of the first quarter. What a great first quarter. And you always try to shoot for 30 in a quarter. And again, to both be at 30, it's almost comical, but Thunder were up 9-0 to start. But again, the Celtics are a team of runs. They can go up 20 and get down by 20. And again, they do it more often than any team in the NBA. Yeah, well, Justin Fields isn't very good. I know you might like him, but at least he gets to play with Garrett Wilson, his college teammate, and whatnot. But that wouldn't be good for you guys. I mean, it's one thing to be able to get a guy that might be able to scramble better than Darnold, right? But as far as like decision maker, I don't think you would want, like, if you have Fields as like your backup, or something. But I'm not really sure if Justin Fields is good enough to actually start. And if he's starting, he's only starting on like maybe 4 or 5 teams, if that. So again, there's some potential in Justin Fields, but again, if you ended up watching, Fields and Russ do what they did, there in Pittsburgh, who obviously another team that has kind of a struggling offensive line. Fields isn't the most accurate, and yes, he might be able to run away from guys, here and there, but I'm not sure, life will go on just because the Hawks didn't get, Justin Fields. And again, your guy that you're going to be going after, in this McDonald regime, at some point, you can end up floating around with these free agents for a year or two, but drafting a quarterback and being the franchise guy, you would assume will be one of the goals for the Hawks in the next, obviously 1 to 3 years. They're going to be looking for that franchise quarterback, and they can have filler bridge guys that, hold you over short term, but that'll be much better, than a Justin Fields. But again, if you want production, you got to get that offensive line fixed and beef up the D. That's big facts. Megan with a $5, appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. A little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Let me know what you want to do for photos. You want DeMarcus Lawrence? You want MVS? You want one of your regulars? End of the first quarter, 33-30 Thunder. And again, the Celtics probably have, one of the best teams top to bottom and bench. But again, defense wins games. Defense wins championships. And even though the names aren't as popular or well-known on the Thunder, there's a reason why the Thunder are fucking 53-12. They're 24/7 on the road. Again, when you end up having stats like that, you really understand why they're as good as they are. And it's not just SGA. So F1 in Melbourne, ooh, exciting. We got the Vegas race, and NASCAR on Tubi has been showing old Vegas races. And I even watched an awesome one from 2014 that had Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Dale Earnhardt Jr., all, still racing, Tony Stewart. It was awesome. And I ended up checking out that whole race last night. Love that. Now JT in the building. What's good? And MVS did have a good season, there with the Saints. And obviously people remember him on the Packers and then the Chiefs most notably. And then obviously a short, little stint there with the Bills until the Saints got him. But again, he's a deep threat, kind of guy. And again, he'll be able to get at least 1 or 2 deep touchdowns, for them. It's just a matter of time. But again, protection. But again, at least getting another individual to help, score and get some, dubs, obviously, for the team will be obviously what they need. And you already know that they're going to be looking at, receivers in the draft as well. So we'll see how it all breaks down. But obviously, being in the NFC South, I'm very familiar with what MVS did, and he definitely had a breakout year last year. Just got to be able to stay injury-free to the best of his ability. Yeah, we started getting the rain last night, 34-33 Thunder, and luckily, I kind of try to time it out with Paisley so we don't get soaked, but we were able to kind of time it just right where we went early this morning and in the afternoon, and we haven't got soaked yet, but maybe after I end up doing this stream, we'll see where it goes. 34-33 Thunder. How about you? You guys getting that weather out there in Washington yet? Seems like there's a big storm front kind of coming through, so. Chet at the line. Free throw. In and out, no good. And turnover, Thunder. And then the DeMarcus Lawrence, move for the Hawks. Again, that's a notable name that has been, a Cowboy staple for a long time. 2 out of the last 4 years, he's gotten hurt. So as long as he doesn't get hurt, he's going to have a chance, you would hope to get over 5 sack lunches. But the numbers have been a little modest compared to the early part of his career where he was getting 7 or more. Now, at this stage of his career, he's getting about 3 to 5. But again, with some of those years, he was hurt. So if he can stay healthy for a year, it's possible to think that DeMarcus Lawrence, with the guys that they have already, that might get doubled, he could possibly get 6 to 10 sack lunches for the team. And if that happens, it'll definitely drastically improve that defensive line. And even if he ends up just being kind of average and let's say he gets 5 sack lunches for the year, it still improves a position that you have a hole in. So again, you have upside with him. You don't really know what you're going to get. Are you going to get 5 sack lunches or are you going to get closer to 10? Nobody knows. But if he stays healthy for a full year, he will have a chance, you would assume, to get somewhere between 6 and 10 if he can stay healthy. If he gets hurt, then he'll probably get somewhere between 3 and 5, unless he can end up getting like 2 in a game. And then if that happens, then he might be able to get a little bit more. So 41-37 Thunder. Yeah. We're going to get it here for like a week straight. So I don't know. Paisley, we'll see how she doesn't mind, but I don't want to get her too, soaked and whatnot. Not like I'm thinking she'll get hypothermia or anything, but, usually I try to keep her as dry as possible. But we need to get out there and get our exercise too, so. Kristaps Porzingis, a guy that definitely can make a big impact for the Celtics. And, they're probably going to need him if they're going to get past the Cavs, especially if they have to play each other in the Eastern Final. Hartenstein, like him, he was born in Eugene, and we'll see if Hartenstein can be a factor for OKC, especially when they go big with the Hartenstein, Chet Holmgren big lineup. White, top of the key, in and out, no good. Chet with the rebound. Tall and lanky like Wemby. Hartenstein. Wallace. Off the glass is good. Nice layup there. Oh, I definitely think Travis Hunter will have the better career than Shedeur Sanders. I mean, Travis Hunter seems like more of a team guy, a guy that has more upside because he can play offense and defense. I don't know if they'll allow him to play offense and defense, a certain amount of snaps, or if he tries to play offense and defense the whole game without resting. I mean, he's a freakish athlete, and I imagine if a team let him, he could probably get pretty close on playing regular amount of snaps on offense and defense. But, again, as soon as someone like him would get fatigued, then you could kind of pick on him and whatnot. Obviously, playing an offense and defense, we've never really seen that. Dion did it, back in the day, but it was like special teams, punt return, kick return, and he was corner. But then they would put him in, on offense here and there, but typically not like every single play, every single drive. But, they would hit him with like a screen pass or a reverse, and then they try to score with him, kind of like a gimmick wide receiver player. But I think Hunter, should be one of the best players in the draft. Abdul Carter from Penn State, I definitely think will be one of the most reliable players if you were going to pick at the top of the draft. And I feel with like Shedeur, even Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, Dylan Gabriel, the only one I really have confidence in is Cam Ward. But even if Cam Ward, if he goes to a shitty team, he might not be able to really make it. He might have to wait till he goes to his second team or something of that nature, depending on the culture, But again, it all really depends on who the owner is, who the GM is, who's the supporting cast, who's calling plays. But for me, Shedeur seems a little me. It's all about me. And I feel with a lot of the other guys in the draft, it's more team and whatnot. So I hope Shedeur, I hope it works out for you, but I feel like he's got some of his dad, obviously the Sanders name, but again, Dion was able to talk shit and he would back it up. I feel with like Shedeur kind of talks a lot of shit, but we don't really know if he'll be able to like back it up. And again, we will find out who ends up being the best quarterback, if it's Dart, Shedeur, or Cam Ward. And then Dylan Gabriel isn't even in that conversation. He definitely is just a backup, a guy that's a project QB. But you never know. He might maybe overachieve if he gets a chance at some point, but no one's really too sure, including myself. So, but I definitely think Hunter, will have a better career than Shedeur Sanders, regardless if he only plays defense or only plays offense. He seems very, very special. And I really like Abdul Carter from Penn State. I think that's probably the easiest, safest, first pick. If you're like, okay, do we want to go quarterback? I'm not too sure. But if you end up getting a guy like Abdul Carter at 1 or 2, you're going to get yourself a dog that will be one of the best players in the draft. And again, sometimes, you can take risks. But again, you don't want to leave a Pro Bowl, All-Pro, or possibly a Hall of Fame player on the board and pick someone that doesn't pan out. So that's kind of my thing. So. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Lakers, the Grizzlies are below the Lakers. But again, Lakers don't have enough defense, but they got Luka and LeBron and Reeves, and who knows what could happen, right? But it definitely feels like the Cavs and the Celtics, they are the top dogs in the East. Nuggets and OKC, but you got to think 24-7 on the road, 53-12. The Thunder and the Cavs have the best record, but they have not as much experience, like you said. But at some point, something's got to give. And if Chet can stay healthy, then they may be able to make it, even over teams like the Lakers and the Nuggets. And again, the Joker is great. Jamal Murray is great. But again, in a 7-game series, it kind of feels it could go either way. Nuggets are OKC in 7. Hell, this could end up being the finals preview where we get Celtics and Thunder, and it could go 7, and it could go Thunder winning in 7, and it could go Celtics winning in 7. But again, both of these teams are top 5 in offense. Both of these teams top 5 in defense. And again, the Thunder are the best at defending the 3. And so, you know that they got Peyton Pritchard and Derek White, and you got Tatum, and you got Brown, and you got Horford. They got a lot of guys. Hauser. They got so many guys that can shoot threes. Celtics arguably got probably the best bench as well, which is usually a factor of them, that could maybe win it all. The team looks better than they were last year, and they won it last year. So, I definitely feel that the Nuggets and Cavs are great, but to me, this seems like this is going to be the NBA Finals. And after watching the Celtics more and more, there is no guarantee that the Thunder win it all. They could, but it's just as likely as the Celtics repeating, based on the shooting, and the depth that they have on their bench. If they weren't as good of a three-point shooting team and they didn't have the depth, then I would say a little bit easier for me to go just Thunder. But you have to respect what Boston has been able to do. Yeah, the Cavs have a better record, but again, that inexperience might be the downfall, when they end up playing each other. And the same thing with the Thunder and the Nuggets. The Nuggets and the Celtics are the teams that have that experience, been there, done that, championship, right? But at some point, there's going to be new teams that are going to be on a championship run, whether that ends up being the Cavs or the Thunder. Can they do it? Can they go all the way? At some point, sometimes history repeats itself. Nuggets, Celtics, and sometimes history is meant to be broken, and then you start to see the beginning of a run like a team of maybe the Cavs or the Thunder. Because if the Thunder win it this year and SGA ends up getting MVP, they're going to have a really good chance to repeat next year as well. So we will see. Oh, nice. You got the Mercedes? Nice. 47-39. And again, the Thunder's bench, definitely not as good as the Celtics. You look at the Nuggets, they have a couple guys, the Thunder got a couple guys, but the main thing is, the Thunder need to have a solid number 2, and that needs to be Chet. And if Chet can stay healthy, that could be the difference. And then again, that's the X factor. And then the same thing for Boston. They need Porzingis healthy. If Porzingis is healthy, maybe, and he's an X factor that can get him 10 to 15 points regularly, maybe that's the difference on beating the Cavs or not beating the Cavs. Or possibly Porzingis is the reason they win the championship, or they don't win the championship against the Thunder or the Nuggets. So, you definitely look at the way that these teams are built. They're definitely very special, but they're going to need something other than from their best players. That's facts. But again, top 5 in offense, top 5 in defense. Again, Thunder and the Cavs, small market teams. Celtics, obviously in Denver, a little bit bigger, but anything is possible. If they want the best ratings, then obviously that would be Lakers-Celtics. They had the best ratings in 7 years out of any NBA game over the weekend. So people love LeBron. They love the rivalry with the Lakers and the Celtics, West Coast, East Coast. But again, the reason why that got the most eyeballs is because what? Luka, right? Luka and LeBron together going against Tatum and Brown. The intrigue, right? They know that the defense is no longer there with Davis gone and injured on the Mavs, but they sure as hell are fun to watch offensively, besides LeBron flopping. LeBron, Luka, and Reeves are must-see TV. It may not be Jordan Pippen, Tony Kukoc, but, it's definitely fun to watch, regardless if you're a Laker fan or not. Derek White, elbow 3, bang, is good. OKC, Captain Oreo with a tenner. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. A little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. And we'll get some MVS, DeMarcus Lawrence. We'll get that situated for you, and I can get you some SGA as well. Loose ball foul. 48-45, Thunder. I'm always going to be watching film. I'm going to be watching games, and again, it's one thing, to just say things. But again, you always have to be able to adjust, especially if things have been changing in front of your very eyes. So, but again, it's very clear on who, the best 5 or 6 teams are. And home court advantage is going to be huge, especially in the NBA playoffs. And again, the 2 best players in the NBA in the world right now are SGA and the Joker. Who's the most deserving of MVP? The Joker. He's top 5 in like 6 categories. Who's scoring the most? 30, 40, 50-point games. And who is actually, getting the most points per game? That's SGA. So at some point, you just can't give, the Joker MVP year in and year out. Again, they like to mix it up, for the fans as well as the other players. But I feel like SGA is definitely deserving. The best overall player is the Joker. But just because you're the best overall, that doesn't mean that it'll overshadow someone that scores the most, on the best team in the NBA, that has the most 30, 40, 50-point games. Sometimes that, scoring factor, and the way that you score, sometimes will influence the voters. So we'll see on how that will go. And again, I definitely feel SGA, even though he might not be, overall deserving, you would want some of the other stats to be higher, rebounds, assists, defense, whatnot, like the Joker, but 2 different players, 2 different styles, both very dominant. Facts. Okay. Well, that looks cool. Good game here so far. Fast pace, 48-45, and it definitely feels like it could, go the distance. Hell, maybe overtime. You never know. It didn't go through on my end. You want to send it to me again? I see your post, but it won't have it from your post. You got to send it to me in like a DM. And then I can do that there for you, Megan. 48-45 Thunder. And we'll be doing Mariners tomorrow, which is going to be exciting to get some of the farm guys. They're kind of having like a, farm system, kind of like all-star game between the teams. So you're going to be able to see a lot of the farm guys get action and whatnot. So definitely excited to see what we can do on Thursday and Friday. 51-47 Thunder. Yeah, I was going to say, there it is. Now I got it. I tried pulling it from your post, but it wouldn't let me. So I figured if you just go that route and then I can get it, then it'll come through. There you go. These are cool. I don't own any of these, but I can imagine that this would be a lot of fun putting together. Wide open three. Bang is good. 51-47 Thunder. These look awesome. It'll take a little time. 267 pieces. You definitely got to have the patience, but it looks sweet. STL with a $5. Appreciate you. Going to your NASCAR buddies on Saturday? Nice. Korean food? Sounds great, dude. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. A little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Sounds like a fun time, man. I'll be watching the trucks on Friday, and I'll be watching Xfinity on Saturday, and I'll be doing NASCAR Cup on Sunday. So, and the Mariners play tomorrow at 6:40, so we'll be doing that tomorrow. On Friday night, we'll probably do the Kraken versus the Utah Hockey Club, or I might end up doing something else. So we'll have to kind of see what is lined up. And then Saturday as well. I haven't really decided just yet, but Sunday will be the Vegas race for sure. Let me know what you want to do for photos as well, and I got you. Drew Holiday with the foul. Oklahoma City was up 9-0 to start the game, but it shows you, again, these teams are about runs, and they have so many good shooters on the Celtics. They are the best shooting team in the NBA, top to bottom. And again, they just need to just be consistent, and again, if they can be a little bit more consistent, and if they can get Porzingis back, they're not going to be able to more than likely catch Cleveland. But again, you want to be able to have your best foot forward, especially when you're going into the playoffs against a team that could possibly beat you. But I think that might be the only team that could beat the Celtics in the Eastern Conference is Cleveland. That's it. There's no other team that could do it. But in the West, there's a couple. Yeah, I mean, again, they'll take a percentage out of it too, and then you got to do the shipping and all that. So if you don't have the time or the patience for all of that, you probably would be better off on doing like OfferUp or doing like Facebook Marketplace for someone to be able to try to meet you like in your hometown. Because again, with eBay, with their fee and then you having to package shit, and like I said, if you got extra time and money and effort, go right ahead. But again, it all depends on the items also. If they're items that are going to be bought immediately, like very coveted, or it's just kind of stuff you're just trying to get a couple extra bucks for. Because again, when you have an auction, it's going to cost to have it on there, and then if your items don't sell, that's my advice. That's I think what I would probably do. So some Johnny Cash. Yeah, they already talked about Cup being released months ago, so it's not really a big surprise. Most of the time, it's money, and again, it's a stage of where they are in their career, and it's the money that's going to be owed. And teams, even if you were an amazing player that had one of the best wide receiver seasons just a few years ago, sometimes you have to move on, and that's why the NBA, the NHL, the MLB, and the NFL are a business. Nice layup there by Chet. He got fouled. Didn't get the call. He didn't like it. He's chirping a little bit. But again, Cooper Kupp could definitely be a good fit in Seattle. You have no Lockett. You have no DK. You picked up MVS. Right? You have JSN. Cooper Kupp could be a guy that I imagine Seattle is looking at, as well as Pittsburgh, Chicago, with Caleb Williams. There's going to be a few teams, probably about 4 or 5, that are going to be needing a wide receiver. And there's going to be options in the draft, of course, but if the money is right, remember, Cooper Kupp is from Eastern Washington. He went to school in the Pacific Northwest. So, being on Seattle wouldn't be that crazy to think, but it really depends on, if Mack and company and Schneider want to spend the money on him or not, or would rather get a cheaper option in the draft, which they might go that route. 56 of 54, now 57-56 Celtics. Tatum for 3. Yeah, Cooper Kupp, like I said, based on his skill set, route runner, hands, he could end up being like, even with JSN and what he was able to do, that would be a nice 1-2 combo. If JSN was the 1 and Cooper Kupp was the 2, MVS was the 3, you draft a receiver as well, Chet for 3, and there's a foul called. It all depends on building that rapport and whatnot. And if Cooper Kupp can stay healthy, he could end up even being the number 1. JSN the 2, MVS the 3. I mean, it really doesn't matter who's the 1 or the 2. Really what it comes down to is, can you catch and can you, get first downs and get in the end zone, 60-60 Thunder and Celtics. What a game. And we're going to get into halftime. We'll get some more photos up. Big 3. Tatum, and then SGA. Tip is good. Hartenstein from Eugene. Nice job. Oh, Tatum with a T. And then Captain, let me know what you want to do for photos for your dono, and I got you as well. A little Johnny Cash and a floating Air Jordan. What's better than that? I'll get you a few more here as we wrap up. And there it is. We're at halftime, 63-60. You want about 30 points per quarter, and that's what we got. 33 in the first for OKC, 30 for Boston, and then the second quarter, dead even, 30 and 30, especially when the Thunder were up 9-0 to start the game. Again, the Celtics trying to keep themselves in this game at home. And again, we have ourselves a preview possibly of the NBA Finals. And I think that this literally could be the finals, and it could end up being Celtics or Thunder winning in 7. It's the first time that I felt like we could actually go 7 games in a long fucking time. Normally, it's so one-sided for the Western Conference or the Eastern Conference where Celtics in 5, Celtics in 6, or Nuggets in 6, right? But now it feels like it really could go 7. And you could get a winner from either side, which is super rare, right? When's the last time that we thought that a series could go 7, and let alone that it could go either Thunder with SGA winning the MVP and they go all the way and winning 7, or the Celtics go back-to-back with the shooting and the defense and the rebounding and just having the best bench. Very intriguing. It's making things a little bit more exciting as far as the NBA. Now, there's a lot of teams that don't play defense and that are boring to watch, but these two teams are worth tuning into. All right, SGA photos, I got you. Johnny Cash with the finger. I need a better one than that. See if I can find a vintage. Got you. "36 three-point attempts, most in a half in NBA history. The three-point game is getting out of control. Whatever happened to the mid-range jumper? Kobe is rolling in his grave, man. Whatever happened to like the Zach Randolph, posting up and fading away? I miss that NBA. Like, why can't we have guys that shoot jump shots anymore? Fadeaways, and why does it have to be just like dunks and threes? And they wonder why the NBA is suffering. You got to bring back like the actual skill set to a game, not just shooting 3 after 3 after 3, and that's it. I mean, I get it if they go in, it's great, but Weird how the NBA has shifted to this like laziness. Now, if you're like the Celtics and you're making the threes, then you're not the exception. You are the team that can do it. But I imagine still, even for some Boston fans, they would like for them to maybe do a little bit less and attack the paint a little bit more. Yeah, too bad the Cowboys won't get him. Hope you like those. Try to find some, there was quite a few that didn't convert, but at least I get some that are nice in HD and 4K and whatnot. Let's get some, we'll throw up a little DeMarcus Lawrence up there for the Hawk fans too. Should be interesting. This definitely game has 63-60 Thunder. Go either way. We're at 20:80 to go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us try to get to 20 before the stream ends. 30 to 50 if we hit the algorithm. And then we're at 20 now, 80 to go to hit the dono goal. But I'm glad that the NBA has at least some things that are making it a little bit easier to watch in certain matchups rather than where they were sitting at the beginning of the year. Now, at the beginning of the year, I probably wouldn't even care for this matchup, but at least at this point, there's going to be a few teams that are worth watching outside of just watching my Blazers. But I can watch the Cavs, I can watch the Celtics, I can watch the Thunder, I can watch the Nuggets, I can watch the Lakers. Watching John Morant and the Grizzlies might be a little bit of a stretch. I definitely can watch Wemby, but he's injured now, obviously on the Spurs. But there's at least I would say 4 or 5 teams. The teams at the top that play D and, teams that have Luka and LeBron and Austin Reeves. There's a few that are okay. That's a good question. There's not really anybody that is a mid-range jump shooter that does that primarily over threes or dunks or attacking the paint. I don't even really think we have one. There's not guys like Jordan and Kobe anymore. The game has definitely changed. That's sad when you can't even name like a mid-range jumper elite player, because it's just like it doesn't really exist. It's like dunks, no defense, shooting threes. That's what it is. Yeah, I mean, that's part of the best part of their game. Backing down, using the footwork, the timing, the head fake, and then up and under, the fadeaways. That was a great part, of the NBA, and again, this younger generation and Steph Curry just absolutely killed that dream, for a lot of these younger kids and adults. The game is so different now. Exactly. Again, they don't make guys like Jordan and Kobe anymore. And again, there's a reason why they were so good. And they both could shoot threes and dunk and do all that and attack the paint. But, it's like showing you that you have skills rather than just shooting threes or just dunking. Like actually showing your basketball IQ and your intelligence. And that's why Jordan and Kobe will always be at the top. And, LeBron isn't in that same category. LeBron's a great all-around player, but he'll never be Jordan and Kobe. Never. It'll never happen. Period. And there's nobody that's playing right now that is on the Jordan and Kobe level. It's just not. Like, if you just watch those guys play in their prime, they were different. They were built different. You're never going to see that, more than likely again. And if we do see another Jordan or Kobe, we probably are going to have to wait another 20 to 50 years, before that next guy comes around. Yeah, Cleveland or New York. If I was Russell Wilson, I think going to New York would be better, because with Cleveland, I mean, you got Deshaun Watson there. That's just a shithole. And obviously the Giants are kind of a shithole as well. But I think that you would get like more roasted by the media in New York. But I feel like being in Seattle, being in Denver, then being in Pittsburgh, staying on the East Coast, and being on the Giants if the Giants want him, that would probably be the better destination instead of trying to battle, with the groper, Deshaun Watson and whatnot. So it's like, yeah, you got Myles Garrett. But other than that, I mean, Cleveland doesn't really have a whole lot, even though they did make the playoffs a couple of years ago with Flacco coming in and Myles Garrett being a beast. And we know the Giants don't really have a whole lot to work with. They don't got Saquon anymore and whatnot. But Thibodeau, Slayton came back. But to me, like I can picture Russ in a Giant uniform. I can't picture Russ in a Cleveland uniform. But he'll interview both places. Yeah, but again, also too, I mean, look at what the Jets and the Giants have had to work with. The Sam Darnolds and the Aaron Rodgers, the Daniel Jones. I mean, I think at this point, if Russell Wilson comes there, he could probably give you what you got from those guys. Similar stats. It's not going to be good, but it'll be something. Right? We'll see where it goes. And now they got, Justin Fields there, but I don't think that's good enough for the Jets to go on a deep run. I don't think he's good enough. So, he's good enough to be on a roster, but not necessarily good enough to start, based on what we've seen. But we'll see. Atlanta Hawks ball, like a real size basketball or like a mini one? Craig Elo. Everyone remembers him from the Cavs. Yeah, started off with the Rockets for the first 3 years, played a good chunk of his career with the Cavs, and then at the end of his career, played with the Hawks for 3 seasons and then ended with the Thunder. So it looks like if you have that ball, it's from either 93, 94, or 95 season, based on him being on the team, helping you out. So 1993, 94 season, 94, 95 season, or 95, 96 season. And let's see what his average was. 10 points at the end of his career in 93, 9.7, 10 again in 94, and then he went down to 8.5 in his second to last season. Hey, but still, got some autos on it, though. Chiefo the Fiver, how are you, my guy? I appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. A little Cactus Jack, bye. What would you like to do for photos, my guy? You want to wait to the end for like food stuff? Or do you want something that you want to represent for the Chiefs or your favorite basketball team? Let me know. Chief in the building. We're at 25, 75 to go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. I think we just need a few more likes to get to 20. Maybe like 5, 6, 7 more. Let me see. Where are we at? We're at 13. So if you are in the room right now and haven't smashed that like button, please do it. Now we're at 14. 6 more to go. We definitely can do that. And we're at, 25, 75 to go, baby. 65, 64, Thunder. Nice layup there by Brown. But this rivalry would maybe be the lift that the NBA needs. Now, if you want most rated, most watched, that will be Lakers and Celtics. But I don't know if anyone really feels the Lakers can beat Denver or OKC because they can't defend, right? They got Luka and LeBron and Reeves, but who do you got to defend? No one. So, again, it's kind of a dream scenario for Adam Silver to kind of get, the popularity back. But the chances of getting Lakers Celtics is not very high. Celtics, yeah. Lakers, they're one of the 3 teams in the West that could, but I just don't see them beating the Nuggets in a 7-game series or the Thunder. Even though Luka and LeBron and Reeves are fun to watch. Besides LeBron flopping. La flop. Top of the 3 key by the Thunder. In and out, no good. Chet down there, making a difference. Now, I hope you're doing well also, my guy. And we'll be doing Mariners and Diamondbacks tomorrow. And I'll figure out what we're doing for Friday and Saturday. NASCAR Cup Series on Sunday. SGA for 3. Shay. In and out, no good. And the Thunder have a strategy where they're going to go with their big lineup with Chet and Hartenstein, or they go small. And again, you just have to try to defend because Boston's going to shoot a shitload of threes. But the Thunder, they'll take their open threes as well. Chet with an open 3 is good. Nice job. And again, it shows you the difference when the Thunder have a second guy that you can count on other than SGA. When obviously Porzingis not in the lineup, and then when he's out there, he definitely makes a difference for Boston, giving them that extra piece on top of already what they got with White and Pritchard and Tatum and Brown and everyone else that's been balling for Boston. 69-66, Thunder. Off the glass, layup is no good. Horford with the rebound. Derek White at the top of the key, and White and Pritchard both had 40 burgers against the Blazers. That's when you know the team has got that depth, baby. Chet with the rebound. And we haven't got a chance to see too much of Chet and SGA together. And that's why the record is almost like insane. How the hell did the Thunder go 53-12 with their second best player not even playing pretty much the whole year? And they're 24-7 on the road. You know how crazy that is to be 24-7 on the road? Regardless of what team you are, that really shows how good you have to be on offense and defense. And both of these teams are top 5 in both those categories. Insane. Chet, free throw is good. Kind of a lanky version of Wemby. Wemby's better than Chet, but Chet is no slouch. he's definitely a very solid player. And again, he's at 18 and 10 now, 7 for 10 shooting. Chet is a guy that can throw a 30 or 40 burger up once in a while. It's all about, can he stay healthy? I mean, imagine getting 30 out of Chet and 50 out of SGA. How do you beat that? And the answer is you probably don't. Here we go, a little pick and roll. Tatum, SGA. MVP versus MVP candidate. Tatum backing down, reach in by SGA, and a foul on the Thunder. Free throw is good. And if you saw how the Nuggets played the Thunder, you double team SGA and you just prevent him getting the ball. But the problem is that a lot of teams don't have the same kind of athletes like the Nuggets, where they have Jamal Murray and Russell Westbrook, where you can have guys that can actually defend and really work on that. And again, if you can keep the ball out of SGA's hands, that's how you win against the Thunder. But again, not very many teams have the personnel to be able to do something like that. To have a guy as pesky as Russell Westbrook, he may not be a guy that can get you a triple-double every game for a season or two like he used to, but he definitely can be a guy that can shadow a great player and make it frustrating for a superstar. And again, if the Nuggets end up beating OKC, they're going to use that strategy like they did just a couple days ago. SGA to the line. But even with that being said, SGA being double teamed or shadowed by the best defender, he can still give you 20 points even with that situation happens. But again, if he's able to get one-on-one, that's when he starts to put up 30, 40, 50, and he's been averaging about 40 per game in the last 4 games. 47% of the team's free throw points, and that's just like Jordan from back in the day. What you warming up, my guy? What's on the plate? Just regular food or something special? Tatum for 3. In and out, no good. Chet with the rebound. And this is nice to be able to see, like, they actually have a big man down there going for boards. Because when Chet is injured, they have nobody down there. Maybe Hartenstein. Bang! Big 3 from Chet. And it shows you, how much of a difference that Chet makes. If Chet's not playing, Boston's up by 10. Right? Or maybe more. But Chet, 21 points, 11 rebounds, 3 for 5 from deep, kind of like a Wemby stat line. He is the X factor. Tatum with 22, Horford with 12, White with 16, Holmgren 21, Shea with 21, Dort with 13. Oh, Horford with a bounce pass, stolen. Look out. 1-on-3. Kick it back out to SGA for 3. Good decision. Bang! That was smart basketball. You end up having your role players out of control, running around with their heads cut off, like a chicken with their head cut off, and then you slow it down. You look for your best players, SGA or Chet at the three-point line. You kick it out, and then you get blessed with a 3. 77-68, timeout, Boston. And that's a full timeout. But we'll see when Chief O'Chief comes back, what he wants to do for photos. We got him. But we'll get a little Jamal Charles action up just for the time being. Can't hate on that. If I can find a cool collage. Appreciate you, Chief with Chief. We can always do food or whatever you want as well, but we'll show you some Chiefs love on the channel. Floating Air Jordan and a bunch of Jamal Charles. What's better than that? Nothing. Right on Jamal Charles' shoulder. It's like the devil and the angel, except you just got Jordan floating. Yeah, so not JT about your eBay thing. If you've had an eBay account before, and again, I feel like it really just depends on your items and if you actually think that, is it going to be one of those things that you may have to sit on for a little while? And again, just the fees that are associated, I think you would be better off just doing a Facebook Marketplace or like OfferUp or something that's like local, that it's in your hometown. You probably would have an easier chance or a better chance of getting rid of those items and getting some cash in your pocket, rather than, having to put it on eBay, having to get, their fee taken out. And then by the time that if you ended up selling an item, the amount of gas and postage and you sending that item off, you're probably not really profiting that much, so you probably have just a better chance of doing something local if you want to profit more. But you'll get more eyeballs on it on eBay. But again, you may not make as much. That's kind of the catch-22. More eyeballs on eBay, but you're definitely not going to. Your bottom dollar will be lower. But then I guess it just depends on if you're talking about an item sold or an item in your house, then that could be the difference. Getting $10 or getting no bucks. Up to you, right? Poked away there by the Thunder. Turnover. Celtics. 80-68 Thunder. Chet looking great out there. I might have to double up. I was thinking about doing Chet and SGA on the thumb and Brown and Tatum, but I didn't have a Chet on hand, but I could have got one. But we decided just to go with 1 and 1. But maybe we end up having this option in the NBA Finals. We'll sprinkle that in, kind of like what we did with the Yankees and the Dodgers, where we had 2 and 2 and 3 and 3. Good defense there by the Thunder. Collapsing D. Nothing there for Derek White. Turnover. Celtics. Back-to-back turnovers. Can't win a game that way. $82-72, up by 10. And the thing about SGA, for a guy that, can score 30, 40, 50 points a game, he doesn't ball hog it as often as other guys that would be leading scorers in the NBA in the past. It's one of those, like, he does actually try to get teammates involved. And there is going to be a time where you need your best player to take over the game. But I think that's one thing about SGA's game that's likable, that he's not really ball hogging it and forcing it all the time. He does. Woo! Look at that reverse layup. Holy shit. Wow. That was incredible. But again, they play defense, they play as a team, and if they have Chet there, they are special. And I do like Aaron Gordon. I do like, Jamal Murray and the Joker and what Denver's got going as well. But this Thunder team, man, they are young and they are very skilled. It's like they got that right amount of youth and actually effort that could beat experience, like the Nuggets. Not sure if Cleveland has the same thing, even though that they are at the top in the Eastern. I don't know if Cleveland can beat Boston. Nuggets and OKC seem like they're a little bit more evenly matched, and even though record-wise Cleveland's better than Boston, but it's like, I don't know if we can trust Darius Garland and, Donovan Mitchell and their team. Like, they've done it in the regular season and they got good players too, but can they do it when it matters the most? or will they end up putting up a performance like the Vikings did against the Lions? It's like you can still have this amazing record and be like 14-3, but I mean, what team is going to show up? A 14-3 team or a 3-14 team in that game? So we'll see. 82-75 Thunder. Oh, you do have an offer up. Okay, I figured you did. That's why I brought it up. So. Yeah, so if you're already doing the offer up, then yeah, do the eBay. Just know what you're getting yourself into, Yep. Money, money, money. It's always like that, for keeping players where you're wondering why, or when players get let go and they're famous. You're like, why is this guy getting let go? How are the Rams letting Cooper Kupp go? That's why you have to read and keep up with all the details. And a lot of times it's not just like the performance of last year. They're a famous big player. Really, it comes down to where their contract sits. Where are they at in their contract and how much money is owed? And then they have to make a decision on trying to either, get rid of a guy early and not, getting rid of a guy too late. A lot of times, teams will try to get rid of a guy a year or two before maybe the collapse of the player. But again, with Cooper Kupp, it feels like he still has game. We have to see, where he ends up falling. Odin's son with a tenner. Appreciate you, man. Every dollar counts. I got a vet visit for Paisley next week. It's probably going to cost like $200 or $300, which is kind of a big hit for me. So on top of all the other things that I have to pay for, so every dollar ends up adding up. So thank you so much. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. A little Cactus Jack, bang bang. Thank you so much. That's pretty much what I do. I work for Paisley and work for the legacy here. So just getting the internet bill paid, the streaming, fee paid, just the basic stuff. We're at 65 to go. And we'll see if Odin is in the room or if he was just doing a drive-by dono. And if you are in the room, Odin, I know you'll comment whenever that is, and then we can throw up some photos for him, or he'll send me photos to throw up. Appreciate you, Odin, my brother from another mother. Off the glass with the left hand is good as you have a couple bodies hit the floor. 84-75 Thunder. And it really comes down to coaching and strategy and lineups as well. When you get to elite teams like this, once you start seeing that run start, the elite coaches will call the timeout to stop the bleeding immediately. And other coaches, that will just let the team play. And sometimes that ends up, being the reason why you lose. SGA. Dort, corner three. In and out, no good. Good rebound there by Jaylen Brown. They need to attack the paint, Celtics. Stop shooting threes and attack the paint. Crossover on Chet. Up and under. Good pump fake. Good ball movement. Corner three. Horford. In and out. No good. Chet with the board. And this is the difference in this game if you're watching. It's Chet Holmgren. He's down there for rebounds. Thunder typically don't have a big guy down there, rebounding-wise. And, again, it's like you have to worry about not just SGA and Drew Holiday with a foul, but Chet is really the main difference why the Thunder is up in this game. The flow of the game is OKC. You're getting good rebounds. You're getting offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds. and again, you're getting scoring out of Chet. Garbage, stuff towards the rim, and also design shots from deep as well. Holiday and SGA with a jump ball. Turnover, Thunder. Hauser coming in. Good role player for the Celtics. NXT was pretty good last night. Me and Odin watched that last night on CW. Again, obviously watching AEW Revolution, watching a pay-per-view kind of spoiled us with Raw, SmackDown coming up obviously at the end of this week and NXT, but I definitely enjoyed Raw with the cage match with CM Punk and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns making his return, which I was commenting how much I miss Brock Lesnar and Roman, and then Roman comes out. Little S always ends up being nice. And then again, we'll see what we end up getting here on Friday for SmackDown. Holiday, he's a bucket. 84-77 Thunder. The crowd is starting to chant defense, the best of their ability here. SGA, good ball movement. Dort, nice pass. Hartenstein with the left shot. He got fouled, but no call there. Go back. Tatum on the attack. Floater, air ball, and Celtics get the ball. Well, the cup decision was already before Devontae. They already were, it was based off money in the contract. So, and plus Cooper was already the 2 behind Puka. So it's not like Cooper was ever going to be the one, target wise, based off his age. He had his, monumental career, like a Jerry Rice season. They won the Super Bowl, and sometimes, you're progressively are going to get kind of worse after your peak season. But we'll see if the injuries can be a minimum for him, and we can have another amazing season for Cooper Kupp in the near future. But it also depends on who's the quarterback and how many targets a game does Cooper Kupp get. Offensive foul, Boston. Got Peyton Pritchard in the game. Great seeing him in there. Go Ducks. $84-79 Thunder. Good ball movement. Corner 3. In and out, no good. Offensive board, Hartenstein. Poked away. 5-on-1. And the Celtics get the turnover. Tatum. Celtics don't run pick and roll like a lot of the other teams do. It's like more isolation. But I guess if you got the best shooting team in the NBA, you don't really need to do as much pick and roll and attack the paint if you're just shooting threes all day and all night. Next matchup after this is actually a pretty good one. The Minnesota Timberwolves with Anthony Edwards, who's a top 5 watch, going against the Joker. Oh, what a flush. Hauser with the flush. He's a fan favorite from the Celtic crowd. 84-79 Thunder with about 2 minutes to go here in the third. Fast-paced game. Elbow 3, in and out, no good. And Cornette with the rebound. Cornette, Hauser, I see you. Yeah, that was Cornette before, not Hauser. Excuse me. Cornette kind of looks like Gordon Hayward a little bit, like it could be his brother. Doesn't he? Kind of looks like Gordon Hayward to me. I know I'm not the only one that sees the resemblance. Not exactly, but, could be like his cousin or, something. Brother. Free throw is good. OKC in firm control with Chet in the game. Again, if Chet wasn't playing, Celtics would have been up big, by probably 10 to 14 in this game, but SGA with the turnover there. Good defense there by the Celtics. Got to finish strong in this quarter. Over and back. Ugh, defense there by the Thunder. Great effort by Dort and company. You know, once you have one turnover and then you have the effort to be pissed to try to force a turnover. And he comes after Tatum and it goes off his chest. That was over and back. Good fucking defense, Thunder. SGA, good pass down low. And how many superstars would have been selfish and shot that jumper with a hand in the face or even being double teamed? SGA seeing the open man down low. Easy layup, 86-85 Thunder. Nice job. Richard. Brown kind of out of control, but nice little layup contorting his body. They're down by one. Less than a minute to go here. Good defense there by the Celtics. Good closeout. Nice pass. Nice cut. Should have made that shot right there. Running out of time here on the clock. You're at 10. Oh, good defense there. Dort with a wild three, and they had to get up something. There was only like 5 left on the shot clock there. Celtics, corner three. He's open. It's good. Oh, baby. Big three there. Some momentum for Boston and the Celtic fans here at home. Floater off the glass. No good. Tipped. Brown with the rebound. Oh, stolen by the Thunder. Nice pump fake. Great D. If they only would have been more patient there. Nice job by the Thunder and Joe. 88-87 Thunder. This is really... Well, you got to think the Celtics are the best shooting team in the NBA, from bench and from starters. So, again, they're going to be shooting 30, 40, 50 threes, and, it's unacceptable. But the crazy thing is they make more than any other team. So, I guess if one team gets a pass on shooting a ridiculous amount of threes, it's them. I mean, what a layup by Tatum, and one. But again, it's not just the stars like Brown and Tatum. It's a lot of the other guys, Pritchard, Derek White, Al Horford, a lot of the others that can make threes just as good as some of the guys in the starting lineup. That's what makes this team so dangerous. But I mean, if the Celtics would actually go and attack the paint a little more, that might be the difference between them winning the championship or not. You can live and die by the three, but at some point you're going to get caught. You're going to get got by somebody. 28 for Tatum, 5 rebounds, 7 assists as they chant MVP to their superstar. Judah's loving it. Captain Oreo's loving it for his team. We got a Celtic fan. We got a Thunder fan. They love it, baby. And we'll be doing Mariners tomorrow. Definitely excited about that, baby. Free throw's good. And that's the end of the third quarter. We're knotted up at 88, baby. I mean, this is everything that you could have asked for in this matchup. It has a playoff type of atmosphere, and that's what I'm looking for when I actually want to do some NBA games that the Blazers aren't playing. I want to make sure that, I'm excited from the very tip to the very end, and that's hard in this day and age in 2025 in the NBA. There's only 5 teams that really pique my interest. And then besides that, maybe the Spurs and Wemby, but he's injured now. So, but for me, I can watch Wemby all day, all night. Wemby is just, you never know what you're going to get out of him. So I'm unfortunate that he's hurt, but what a great game. Go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. Help your boy out. All right, let's go over some of the key stats here from the studs. We got Chet Holmgren with 21, SGA with 26, Dort with 13, and on the bench, you got three guys with at least 6, Williams, Hartenstein, and Joe. Then you got 29 with Tatum, Horford with 15. Most of that was in the first half. Holiday was 7, which is a little low. Derek White was 16. Brown with only 6. 3 for 10 shooting. You need to be better, Jaylen Brown. And then on their bench, they only got one guy over 6 with Cornette with 7. So, when you're looking at Peyton Pritchard with only 5, he needs more time. Again, you want to have guys in there that can make a difference. And if it's me, I'd rather have Pritchard in the game over Drew Holiday. I think Drew Holiday is a name, but who's been playing better ball as of late? It's Pritchard. Being able to shoot the 3 and being a better passer. We know that Holiday has always been a great role player, but at this point in the game, I would take some of the minutes away from Holiday and give that to Pritchard. Tatum, Horford, Pritchard, White, Brown. That's the best starting lineup to me. But again, we'll see if they implement that. Obviously Holiday typically gets the start. Pritchard is a bench guy, but Pritchard just put up 40 plus with Derek White against the Blazers. You want to make sure you're capitalizing off someone who's hot, not taking him for granted. Back. Plumlee and Adams. Yeah, they have history from back in the day too. Yeah, and another thing I like about both of these teams a lot, it's not just about the scoring and the superstars. Like, they actually play defense and they fucking try, like the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Nuggets. It's like refreshing for me. I'm an effort guy and I like defense. And so for a majority of the NBA, that doesn't exist. But for about 4 or 5 teams, it does. And those are the ones that I can actually watch. And luckily, we have 2 of those 5 teams that are on right here, right now. Let's go, baby. Bring that electricity, baby. Oh, yeah. And shout out to my boy, Julio Rodriguez, hitting a grand salami today. You my boy, baby. Let's go. We just need to get dubs when we end up having great performances like that. Let's go, Julio. Holmgren. Oh, what an alley-oop. Oh, that was pretty. Chet is special, man. Oh, shit! Oh, my God. Cornette with the offensive rebound dunk out of nowhere. Holy cow. Man, this is electric in this fourth quarter. Nice pump fake. And then rejected by Derek White. Oh, my God. Alley-oop and then a rebound dunk? Wow. This one is delivering. Jeez. Yeah, I'm definitely excited to do Mariners, but I'm also excited to be able to, do a couple others. We'll be doing a little bit of Dodgers for my dad, but we'll do a few other teams, throughout the year when the Mariners have the day off. And Mets are going to be really fun to watch this year. Soto is going to make a huge impact on that team. And again, no Garrett Cole, no Juan Soto. Yankees aren't going to the World Series this year in the American League. But as far as the National League is concerned, Dodgers are definitely the heavy favorite. But if there's a team that could get, close, you got to think the Mets will be one of the teams that's going to try to knock them off. right? Them, the Braves, the Padres, just to name a couple. Yeah, his defense isn't the greatest, but he is a damn good hitter. Great game, right? Like I said, often NBA games are shitty. But again, when you got two of the top three teams overall playing right here, this could be the finals preview, and I honestly think it will be. I think Boston will be able to get past the Cavs, whether it's, in 6 or 7 games or when they have to play each other, if they play each other in the East Final or sooner. But I feel like Boston is better, and they'll be able to, get past Cleveland, even though Cleveland is very good. And again, I think the Nuggets are amazing as well, but the Thunder have enough, if they don't have any major injuries, to barely get past the Nuggets, I feel, this year as well. So I think one team, has the inexperience that can make it, and then the other might just not have enough yet. I just don't trust Darius Garland and, Donovan Mitchell enough. Like, I think they're amazing, and they do play defense, and they play for each other, but it's like I need someone else on that team that I can trust besides those two, and that's the real question for me. And sometimes Donovan Mitchell disappears in big games. I need to see him be a little bit more consistent. $93-90. OKC with about 10 minutes to go. Little pick and roll. Chet at the top of the key. Looking like a white Wemby. Lanky and athletic as hell. And good defense there by Cornette. Cornette is scrappy. Gordon Hayward looking ass. Yeah. Nuggets will be able to beat the Lakers. Again, you got Luka and LeBron and Reeves, but again, look at all the defensive guys they have, and they have Russell Westbrook. He's going to be like a fucking pest. He's going to get somebody pissed off. Luka, LeBron, Reeves. He'll definitely make a difference. Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray is amazing. The Joker is the best player in the NBA, even though he probably won't win MVP, but is probably the most deserving. I mean, he's top 5 in 6 stats. The only thing that he's not is leading in points per game like SGA. But, I mean, if we're talking about the best all-around player in the NBA, it's clearly the Joker. But they can't give Joker the MVP every year. I mean, I guess they could, but you want to sprinkle out around the greatness a little bit, Tatum, front rim, in and out, no good. 95-92, Thunder. Wiggins for 3, and it's not Andrew, if you're wondering. And Horford with the box out. Yeah, again, Brown is the reason why that you guys are losing, and Chet is the reason why the Thunder are winning. You got to have your top 2 players step up. And I also feel that Judah Pritchard should have got more playing time. They should have recognized some of the struggles, with maybe Drew Holiday and Brown, and made some more time for White and Pritchard to be in the game together with Horford. And again, game in, game out, it's going to be different, based off strategy. But sometimes you have to make a decision on some of your guys and rotate the lineup a little bit. But Brown with a little cheap one there, getting him into the scoring column. But yeah, only one basketball with so many 3 attempts, At some point, you got to be smart and take closer shots and stop shooting threes. And you definitely have seen Brown work the paint a little bit more. Nice block from behind. Fast break, 2-on-2. Corner 3. Bang! Oh, my. We're knotted up at 95, baby. And again, Pritchard and White on the floor together is just straight cash. It's always good because they're not selfish. They're going to pass to each other. And again, Horford can shoot. If you want to have Brown and Tatum as being the 2 best, that's fine. But you got to fight the right combination. right? Brown, Tatum as like the notable guys, and then having Horford as the old school vet and having the two best shooters on the team. As of late, White and Pritchard on the floor as well. I mean, it doesn't take rocket scientists to understand who deserves to be on the floor. And I know Drew Holiday is a name, but, Pritchard is going to give you more, on the plus-minus side when he's in. Facts. And it's not like I think Drew Holiday sucks or stinks. I think he's a good player. But you have to go with who's been hot lately, and that's White and Pritchard. Leftover barbecue. Boy. How was it? Which player played water polo? I played water polo as a kid. Not for very long, though. But I'll tell you what, having to kick your legs and to keep yourself above the water and then, and being like in net, again, think about the strength and the endurance you have to have. It's one thing to swim when you have the ball, but when you're actually having to guard the net and keep your legs going, man, crazy stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe, it's the fact of maybe being overpaid and not being held accountable, and, like I said, not trying on defense because there's no repercussions, and again, like back in the day, you don't play defense, coach yells at you, your ass is on the bench. Now it's like they don't care. Just, go and shoot a three, and whatnot. Like, definitely the accountability and the pride is not the same. There is no mid-range game anymore. There's no more Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, fadeaways and jump shot. There is no even Zach Randolph from like 10, 15 years ago where he would back it down and then being able to shoot like, 10 to 15 foot, hook shots or jumpers or floaters. Like a lot of the game that made the game great is disappeared, and it's sad. We don't see the Zach Randolphs, the Zebos anymore. We don't see the Kobe and Jordan, jump shot. Like we were just trying to talk about, who actually shoots jump shots anymore and is the best at it. You can't even name anybody because fucking nobody does it anymore. That's how sad, that the NBA has gotten, that you can't even name one fucking player that is elite at shooting jump shots because it's always threes or dunks or layups. Sad, man, but that is the truth. But this has been a great game. Again, you're going to take a lot of threes, but what makes this game great, even if they take a billion threes combined, top 5 on offense, both, top 5 on defense, both. Who's the best at defending the three? The Thunder. So, and the Celtics are best at shooting the three. Something has got to give. And again, I like matchups and storylines like this. Definitely feels like a finals preview to me. If I had to put money on it, it could, maybe I should. Maybe I should put in my slip like today and say Thunder, Celtics. But the thing is, who's going to win? I don't know if we have an answer for that. Originally I thought, okay, Thunder, probably in 7, and then SGA wins MVP. But if the Celtics keep playing the way that they're playing and they get Porzingis back, they could definitely go back-to-back and win in 7 over the Thunder. Even as good as the Thunder is, and they're they don't have the deep run experience yet. But at some point, the Thunder are going to be in the finals. SGA is special. And again, he should win the MVP this year, even though the Joker is more deserving. Quarter 3, bang, is good. All right, Megan, take care. Yeah, bro, everyone thinking they're Steph and Clay. It's ridiculous. Now, I don't have a problem with Peyton Pritchard and Derek White or Horford shooting threes, but Tatum and Brown have no business shooting threes. Let the threes go to the players that actually can make them. Now, if Brown and Tatum actually worked on their mid-range game, that would make this team so much more dangerous, because then they wouldn't have an answer for the inside or the outside, and then Porzingis coming back. But again, Tatum and Brown think that they're Clay and Steph sometimes, and it definitely hurts their game. Like there's games where they could score a hell of a lot more and be more productive if they just didn't try to be like Clay and Steph or Dame. But, everyone thinks that that's who they are now. right? Even little kids now. Brown with only 8 points. Terrible night for him. Fight for the basketball. Turnover, Thunder. 101-98 OKC. And again, in this last 7 minutes, you need to go a lot of SGA and a lot of Chet. And obviously, if you're Boston, you want to distribute the basketball to the open man. Don't ball hog it on this isolation one-on-one bullshit, right? Pass the ball to your teammates. Play like a team. It's not me, it's team. And we'll find out if Tatum and Brown can do that. And if they do, they'll win. If not, the Thunder are going to win. Reach it foul on Brown. Is that 5? 5 fouls on Brown, but he hasn't really been a factor anyways. Yeah, and it doesn't help that JB ain't there either now, right? Yeah, but I mean, A-Rod won't go to Minnesota and do the whole Brett Favre thing with the Packers and the Jets in Minnesota, right? I know everyone wants history to repeat itself, but the Vikings are going to go with J.J. McCarthy, and that's the smart move. Why waste money on a guy like Aaron Rodgers where you're probably going to get similar stats and maybe even better out of McCarthy, depending on how he looks, and again, you're not wasting any extra money on Rodgers where you can use that money maybe towards the offensive line or the defense, and that's what you need to improve with Minnesota. Minnesota's defense is already elite, but you can always add another name or two, like the Broncos' elite defense, adding Talanoa Hufanga from the Niners, Dre Greenlaw from the Niners, and on offense, just getting Ingram, which is really good for them. Nice steal there. Open 3 in the corner. In and out, no good. Hartenstein, you got to get that board. Fast break, Derek White. Travel by Jaylen Brown, if I've ever seen one. Jesus Christ. White, pump fake. Good ball movement there by the Celtics. Elbow 3, in and out, no good. How about instead of shooting threes, attack the rim, Seattle? Nah. Boston? Golly. But it's not like if A-Raj goes to Pittsburgh that they're going to go to the Super Bowl. We already seen, with Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson and all these Devontae Adams, Rodgers couldn't do it. So what makes you think Rodgers is going to be able to do it in Pittsburgh when they have a shitty O-line and, running game is a little sus. And then, you got Pickens and you got DK, but can you even get him the ball? Right? Freiermuth is nice, but I wouldn't, if I was Pittsburgh, fucking A, man, I wouldn't want Rodgers. I guess if I had to take Rodgers for a year, then I guess if you want to go that route, you could, but. Yeah, Broncos, like I said, my best friend is a Bronco fan, and I told him this is the best offseason you guys have had in 15 to 20 years. Dre Greenlaw, right? Crazy good. Sideline to sideline for the Niners. Top 4 defensive player with Bosa and Warner, right? And you end up getting Talanoa Hufanga on top of that, but they just need to stay healthy. And then fucking getting Warner, or getting, somebody that can actually play at tight end. And Ingram, Evan Ingram at tight end. That's a solid piece. That's a top 10 tight end. Bo Nix finally has someone he can go and do checkdowns with. But they need better running backs and wide receivers. They're ass there. Even Cortland Sutton, they need to have better guys. He's pretty good, but who else, OKC playing kind of smarter basketball here down the stretch. And shooting too many threes, it looks like it might come back to either help the Celtics come back or it's going to make them lose. White for 3 at the elbow, air ball. Turnover, Boston. SGA, Pritchard trying hard to guard him, doing everything he's got, but SGA is just too fucking good. Nice jumper right in Peyton Pritchard's eye. 106-100 Thunder. Beautiful. That kind of reminded me a little bit of Kobe and Jordan right there. You know, when you get that type of player that can isolate, you know, have to do, you know, some spin moves, but nothing too crazy. Tatum returning that fire back, 106-100. I wouldn't be. I think right now the Thunder are in great position because the Thunder play like they're at home every game. Again, they're the only team to do that. They're 24-7 on the road. Every time you see the Thunder play, they play the same as they do on the road than they do at home. Incredible focus. They don't care if they're getting booed. They know they're the best team in the NBA. So, I mean, if anything, Boston, you know, again, they have more to lose than the Thunder. Thunder have been controlling the tempo, and again, as long as Chet and SGA are in the game together, it's almost impossible to beat them. Let's be real. If Chet and SGA both go for 20 apiece, I think the record of them winning games is like 95%. Like, you're not really able to beat them when they both go off with rebounding, assisting, and scoring. I mean, they don't really have an answer. He had a shot right there at the rim, and Brown passed it up. Big dunk! All right, Brown with the dunk there after giving up the easy layup. 106-102. Now 107-102. Yeah, and obviously Tatum is kind of streaky. You know, he's not as consistent, you know, maybe on the high end as some of the others, even though he is a guy that can pretty much give you 25 to 30 every night. But we have to be able to see how you're going to look when you go into the playoffs. Are we going to get Tatum regular season? Or are we going to get Tatum playoffs? Or same thing with Brown. Like, are you going to elevate your game to help your team win? Or are you going to be too much of a me player and then another team, you know, will get you? Like the Cavaliers, the Thunder, or the Nuggets. Well, you know, it'll be very interesting to see how it plays out. Brown fouls out with only 10 points, 5 for 15. And again, less threes. And if he would have attacked the rim, he would have had 20 points and probably some more free throw attempts. You know, you live and you learn. You can get away with shooting threes against the Blazers, you know, and other teams. But when you're going against the team that defends a three the most, you know, you have to know that going in. You know, and again, if the Celtics won't adjust, then you might end up just barely losing this game, which it feels like that's the way it's going to go. Chet at the line and is good. And again, it's like, even though the Celtics might have like the best bench and, you know, their best shooting team, you can't go away from the best basketball IQ, the smartest team, and then having two guys that are almost unguardable, right, in Chet and SGA, and, you know, having the MVP on your team. That definitely helps. So maybe I need to put in the slip. I mean, this SGA, you know, isn't like luck. You know, Anthony Edwards is an elite player, but SGA is better. You know, and Edwards is like a top 5 player, but SGA is better. You know, it's like you're looking at some of these other players that are out there. I mean, really, the only one on the SGA level is the Joker. That's really saying something. Like Luka and all these other guys are out there, and, you know, they can shine, you know, from time to time and still put up numbers, but the impact of some of these superstars, you know, like the Joker and SGA, it's very evident when you watch games, obviously here in the last 3 years. Like, it almost feels like, you know, the Joker and SGA can average like 30, but they're good enough where they could average like 35 or 40 and not really be a ball hog. I mean, when's the last time that you could have said something like that? It's been a minute. Now, Porzingis has been injured for the last few weeks, and that's been kind of the X factor that they're missing. Whenever guys end up being a little slow, they're a little down, Horford is injured or having an off game, or Holiday or Brown or Tatum, you could go to Porzingis for 10 or 15 points, get you some rebounds, get you some free throws, get you some energy, and sometimes that's enough to win. And I think that's really going to be one of the determining factors. If Porzingis is a factor and healthy, maybe the Celtics go back-to-back. But if Porzingis is injured and he's not playing or he's not as effective, that could be the difference between them beating the Cavs or not in the East Finals. And if it is good enough to beat the Cavs, maybe you're not good enough to beat the Thunder or the Nuggets. Like, you're close, but you fall to them in 6 or 7. So. Yeah, Dort's 5 for 12, though. 13 points. And I'm not sure if you want really Dort shooting the ball. I mean, unless it's like wide open. But 3 for 8 from deep. So almost 50%. So 30 for SGA, 23 for Chet, who has been the difference. 23 points, 14 boards. And again, anytime you watch the Thunder when Chet isn't playing, they never rebound, right? And then when you watch Chet in the game, it seems like Chet gets every rebound, and they're really important rebounds. Sometimes he'll get an offensive putback, but more importantly, he gets the defensive rebound when he's surrounded by 3 of the other team. And normally when he's not playing, if the other team gets the rebound, and maybe the Thunder have one guy down there, but he doesn't get the rebound. When Chet's down there, it could be 4 Celtics. He'll fucking get the rebound. And again, that has been the difference in this game today. Now, this team, they played each other on January 6th. The Thunder won 105-92, and they're trying to do it again. And again, Jaylen Brown can easily put up 20 to 30 points almost on any given night. But when you're going against arguably the best defensive team in the league, not named the Cavs, right? Cavs and Thunder, they're up there, And again, they may be a little inexperienced to the Nuggets and the Celtics, but it shows you the type of basketball IQ the Cavs and the Thunder have this year. And the reason why they're both in first place, in their respective conferences. They might be young and they might be up and coming, but they really do the things that you need to be great at right now. It's not like the Cavs are only offense. It's not like the Thunder are only offense. And if they were, we would see them get exposed. But when you see a team that's 24-7 on the road at this point in the season, that is fucking insane. I mean, I don't think I've seen a team like the Thunder, and obviously the Cavs are very good as well, but pretty amazing shit to watch kind of unfold right in front of you. Oh, wow. Traveling call. Holy cow. And I was hoping that Jalen Brunson would be healthy against the Blazers, but not having him, that doesn't really make the game the same type of vibe and feel. 55-10 for the Cavs. That's insane. Wow. 25-6 for the Cavs on the road. I mean, you have to understand how special you have to be able to have that type of win-loss ratio this late in the season. You're only sitting at like 5, 6, 7 losses at this point on the road. What? Well, it's not only, Brown, it's coaching, and not having the right rotation in. Like I said, if you watch Derek White and Peyton Pritchard within the last couple weeks, those guys should be in with Horford, and then again, with Brown and Tatum. But again, if you shoot too many threes, and then you got guys like Drew Holiday that are sucking minutes, and then Brown has an off game, maybe you could have had a little bit more. But again, the difference has been Chet and nor Porzingis tonight. That definitely hurts. Oh, nice steal. In and out, no good. And the Thunder are going to get the dub. Shows you, they don't have the best bench compared to some of the other teams. Some people would prefer the Cavs bench over the Thunder, Celtics bench over the Thunder, the Nuggets bench over the Thunder, right? Lakers bench over the Thunder. Some people would like to have the other bench. But like I said, basketball IQ and unselfishness, effort, really trying for each other, and having the best player in the NBA on the team definitely helps. That's the difference. SGA is much better than Tatum and Brown. They're good players, and Tatum has, kind of gotten into superstar level, but no one is taking Tatum over fucking SGA, period. Even Boston fans, if they had a choice, if they say, hey, Boston fans, you could have SGA or Tatum, you think anyone would say Tatum? Fuck no. They would be going SGA because they know he's a better player. Hell, they would probably go Anthony Edwards over Tatum. Not saying Tatum is terrible. He's not, but I don't think Tatum is as trustworthy. Same thing with Brown. They're great players, but I don't know if you can, trust them as much as some of these other guys like the Joker or SGA lately. Like those guys are like, there is no issue of trust. It's like they're just automatic. Yeah, so the free throw game definitely was the difference. Agreed, Judah. Yeah, Brunson's my favorite player in the NBA that's not on the Blazers lefty. I love lefties and whatnot, but again, I was really hoping that was going to be, okay, Brunson, sweet, and then we might lose. And, I want to see that matchup. And then, obviously he got hurt and he's on the shelf for a couple more weeks. But I feel like Celtics, if you play kind of undisciplined, where everyone shoots threes, again, you're the best shooting team from deep. But again, you're going against the best defensive team from deep. So again, if you don't adjust and start attacking the paint, then you end up falling short like in this game, where the Celtics easily could have won, even with Jaylen Brown having a bad game, even with Porzingis being out. If you just would have made a few adjustments instead of shooting a billion threes, you cut that down, maybe 10 less, and then attack the paint. Maybe you win by one. I don't think that's crazy to think. There was a lot of kind of like mistakes. They definitely like to, pass it around, but they need to play better basketball IQ, the smart basketball, if you want to beat a team like the Thunder or a team like the Nuggets. But with all that being said, the Celtics are still good enough to go back to back. Even though the Thunder are great, they're the best team in the West, Cavs in the East, Celtics are number 2, in the Eastern Conference, but top 5 in offense, top 5 in defense. They're still good enough to beat the Thunder in the finals in 7. Maybe we'll get that. Maybe it'll be Thunder in 7. Maybe it'll be Celtics in 7. But I think for the first time in many years, I'm actually kind of looking forward to the finals. It's been a long time before I was able to say something like that. NBA hasn't really been that great, in the last 15 years. But this is the first time that we said, well, if it ends up being Thunder Celtics, it's the first time that we could say 7 games, not 6 or 5. And both teams could win. We haven't said that either. So they at least got something going for them. Yeah, Zion likes cheeseburgers too much, bro, and his genetics aren't good. So, and he likes women too much. So again, if you got the Sean Kemp syndrome, and you got too many kids, too many baby mamas, too much partying, too much drinking, too much cheeseburgers, and your body is a liability, right? And the genetics, like, yeah, you were able to throw down at Duke and you went out of your shoes and exploded in them, but you've never lived up to the potential like Anthony Edwards did and SGA did. That could have been you, Zion, but it never will be. Just some guys, it's just not cut out for them. And, Again, Zion cares more about the girls than he does basketball. That's why it'll never happen for him also, even if his body were to stay healthy. That's just true. Some guys love the limelight. They love the clothes. They love the clubs. They love partying. Other people are trying to win championships, not, see who the next girl is. Facts. Kraken and Blazers. Let's go. And again, with this game being so close, 5 points, just a few less threes, attack the middle, Or we could have said, hey, if Porzingis played, maybe they just win based off that alone. But definitely Chet was the reason that the Thunder won. If Chet didn't play in this game, then the score is flipped and the Celtics win. 100%. 3 is good. And we're down here at the very end. Nice. Thybulle's making his debut. Hell yeah. I just wish Brunson was playing. That took the kind of the oomph out of it. That's why I did this game instead. Because, if Brunson was playing, of course this game is going to be better than the Blazers and the Knicks. But, that's the reason why I was like, I'll just watch it with Paisley and whatnot. But, man, hard for me to pass up on a NBA final preview. Anything you want to see for your dono photo-wise? Draymond Jones to the Titans. Mike Williams to the Chargers. The Chargers need to just get just brand new wide receivers, just like Denver. When the Chargers and Denver actually get wide receivers and tight ends and all that is fixed and running backs, like once the offense is like really good like it used to be, when they had Keenan Allen and they had that, once you get Lad McConkey with the right people, with Herbert, and then once Bo Nix has, more than Cortland Sutton and Evan Ingram, like that's going to be the difference between those teams going 10 wins to like 12 or 13, and then maybe actually making the AFC Championship game. Facts. Especially with Denver and their defense. They're special. And that's the final 118-112 Thunder. What a good game. Floating Jordan loved it. All right, what do you guys want to do for photos here in the last 9 or 10 minutes? What are we thinking, baby? What kind of food are we going for? Youngest team in the NBA. Going to win it all this year. I should put in the bet. Thunder and SGA wins MVP, and then O-Dog wins a shitload of money. That's what I need. I need some money. Jordan bouncing off the rib. Oh, nothing better than that. Later, brother. Oh, yeah. First player. He did a triple-double in the first half, triple-double in the second half. He's top 5 in 6 categories. He's the best player in the world right now. But SGA is the most popular and, again, marketable and leading the league in scoring. And again, once he wins the championship, if they win it this year, which I think they will, then he'll be a household name, I got to put in the bet slip. Great 1-2 combo. The white Wemby and the best player, in the NBA scoring and handling. in the last couple of years. It's like from here on out for the next few years, SGA can average 30 to 40 points a game. Already done it for a few years. But like we're talking about the player that's in his prime, like Joker, where, there's nothing that they can't do. No preference. All right, we're doing food then. Yeah, see? Next game should be pretty good too with the Nuggets and the T-Wolves. And we're doing Mariners tomorrow. Last game of the night, Thursday night, on the whole entire slate. 6:40 start. Diamondbacks, Mariners. Let's go. A lot of people are going to be tuning in because it's the only MLB game that's on at that time. All the other games are over at 1. So there'll be a few more eyeballs watching that. Yeah, and again, you already know who wants payback. You know he wants payback. And so it's going to be very interesting. There's that history there. That will make another good storyline. Like, we're always looking for storylines in like wrestling and whatnot. That's a good one for the NBA, to see kind of where things end up with that. $118, $112 final for the Thunder. I'm going to stay on here for just a couple more minutes. And I got to take Paisley on a walk and then eat some dinner. And then we'll be doing Mariners tomorrow at 6:30 Pacific tomorrow. A lot of the elite farm guys are going to get some playing time. Can't wait. Good question. I mean, there's a few teams that could use them. Pittsburgh, Seattle, Chicago. There's a few. This looks really good. Kebab. Like, you ever have a really, really good kebab? Like, it's one of those things you only have like once a year or twice a year. But when you have it, it really does hit the spot. Some good flavors there. Flavor Town. Just like in Gordon Ramsay, Next Level Chef. You guys should be watching. It's a great show. But again, what team could use him the most? Probably the Seahawks. But again, the Seahawks may not want to pay him, so they'll just draft a guy and get a guy that's not as good as Cooper Kupp, but again, cheaper. And then they hope that, you know, a guy will have Cooper Kupp type of ability. But we will see. Yeah, especially, you know, when you had, you know, an OG like that, you want to be able to keep building with a player like that. But again, the loyalty in sports doesn't really exist too much anymore. So, well, I love you guys and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Great game, very back and forth. And again, the Thunder were able to squeak it out. Shout out to all the people that liked, sub, donated, commented, shared. Megan, Captain STL, Chief, Odin, and a few others. Thank you. And I got one question for you. Well, you know, talk sports like us. Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Okay.